All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This segment is called Michael's Magic Moment. It's my opportunity to play a little snippet from one of our previous episodes, which resonated with our listeners, that I received feedback from, or I felt really had an impact on some people's lives. Hope you enjoy. One of my early episodes, which is probably one of my favorite because it's had such an impact on my life personally, is the one that I did with Dr. Adam Fraser called The Third Space. And we discussed work-life balance, and it was episode 10. Now, as a self-employed person, and whether you're not a self-employed person, life can get really crazy with work. And a lot of us find it really difficult to leave those issues with work or with business at the door and to be a human being when it comes to being around our partner, our children, our family, our friends. And normally when something's up, when something's on our mind, everyone around us can tell. We could probably try to hide it, but most people know when something's up, and most people know when Michael's not being Michael, or when Jeff isn't being Jeff, or Sandy isn't being Sandy. And the issue is that this has an impact on the relationship that we have with our friends and family. And this is something that over a long period of time can cause issues, whether it's a separation or it's just a serious division between two people where they just no longer know each other. And it's something that we can control. Yes, we can't avoid it because life is stressful, work is stressful, business is stressful. But it's something that if we manage it properly, we can move closer to that whole work-life balance thing. Like everyone talks about work-life balance. We talk about all these different concepts like self-care and, a 4-day work week and all these different things. And you can call it whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's about leaving work where work is and making sure it doesn't spill into your everyday life as a human being. Because don't forget, you're on this planet not to work. You're on this planet to do lots of other things as well. So in this episode, I talked to Dr. Adam Fraser. I invited him onto the show, and he was obviously nice enough to be on the show, especially being a brand new podcast show at the start. And we talked about his book called The Third Space. He discussed this concept of negative spill. And I'm not going to explain it. I'll leave it up to Dr. Adam to explain it to you. But it's something, when I heard him discuss it about maybe a year before I recorded that episode, it honestly changed the way I do things. And I'm hoping you'll learn something from it. Even more, I'd encourage you to buy his book, have a listen to it. Have a read of it. And you'll probably get a lot more out of this 10-minute episode. But it's something that you'll learn from it. You'll hopefully teach your partner to learn from it. You'll probably tell your friends about it. It's something so simple. And I'm just so excited to be doing this episode today, going back to it, because as I said, it's had such an awesome impact on my life. And I think for me as an advisor, I see many people on a regular basis, many couples go through different situations where they're allowing their work life to affect their personal life, or they're allowing their personal life to affect their work life, or they're allowing one part of their work life to affect the other part of their work life. And the same thing applies to personal. So have a listen, enjoy, and I hope you all get something out of it.
Look, it's probably the most popular piece of research we've ever done. And it's the thing that more people email me or call me and go, hey, that thing really had an impact on my life. And how it came about is, it was kind of a slow burn. One of the things I noticed about top performers, whether they were athletes or soldiers or business people, was this amazing ability to transition between the different parts of their day. So, a great athlete transitioning between points and their ability to, if they had disappointment, to leave that behind but get their head right for the next point, or a great leader being able to have a frustrating meeting and then not carry that into the next meeting, or a great salesperson being able to be rejected and then front up to the next opportunity and give it their all. Yep. So this is something we saw. And then I had an interaction where I had dinner with a CEO in his home with his family. And the thing about him was that he was just amazingly present and patient and fun and funny. And the whole meal, I'm just going, my gosh, that's how I want to be when I'm at home. And I quizzed him about it. And what he talked about is he had this process in that he would come home, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but he actually built a new entrance into his home. So he'd drive into the garage. He's built this new door that went from the garage to his room, and he would go in there and not talk to anyone. And he'd have a shower and do some relaxation, and then he'd go out and greet the family. And what he talked about is that previously he had come home from work, and one day he noticed as he went to open the door, he saw the kids like run away, literally, oh my God, Dad's home, and they bolted out the back. And he said, I realized I came home like this hurricane, and I just left a trail of destruction through the house. And what we found in our research is too often we take the mood or mindset of the previous space into the next space. So we might take, a bad meeting into the next meeting, or we have a bad day at work and we take it home with us. It's something we call negative spill, where the stress of one environment moves into the next. And what we started to explore was, well, how do we effectively transition, whether it's from work to home or one meeting to another? And we call this transitional gap, the third space. So like the first space is what we're doing now, second space, what we're about to do. What we start to explore is how do you use that gap, which may be 5 seconds or maybe 30 minutes, to really reset yourself and show up as the best version of yourself for what you're doing next. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.